Maine Democratic Senate candidate Graham Platner is fighting off another allegation of sexual misconduct. But first, we want to warn you the details are graphic. The Washington Post reported on Tuesday Platner's ex-girlfriend, Lindsay Fifield, says he, quote, repeatedly removed protection without her consent when they were having sex. Fifield previously accused Platner of physical abuse. On Monday, another ex-girlfriend of Platner claims he forced her to have sex with him nearly 5 years ago, despite repeated objections. The 41-year-old's campaign says the allegations are, quote, categorically false. Top Democrats and former allies of Platner, including Senator Bernie Sanders and Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, are calling on him to drop out of the race, and so are some Maine voters.
And I feel like for the people of Maine, the right thing to do is to drop out, which makes me really sad if it's not true.
He needs to withdraw if we're going to have any hope of trying to win this seat.
He had skeletons in his closet, and politics is going to pull that out.
For more, let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns, who's in Bangor, Maine. So you outlined to us the urgency of this matter last night. The clock is essentially ticking for the Democratic Party to have another candidate who can make it to the ballot for the general. What's the latest you're hearing about Platner and his campaign?
Yeah, I have to be honest with you, Lindsay. I thought if I were talking to you for a second night, we would have some news here from the Platner campaign of a dropping out. We haven't heard that yet, though we have learned today that he is expected to release a video of some kind addressing the future of his campaign. When that happens remains to be seen. But meanwhile, the Democratic Party here and nationwide, really, there's a lot of finger pointing. There's a lot of frustration. They're furious at the way at which he has been dragging out this process, because they say that the longer he drags this out, that really prohibits them from starting the process to find and field a new nominee to take on Susan Collins in November. Remember, this is a key race that will help determine which party controls the Senate. Democrats can't win the Senate unless they win here in Maine. So you're already seeing this frustration building. We've also seen a lot of intra-party fighting here, Lindsay. You have the Democratic Party here in Maine, which, if he drops out by Monday, they will be the ones to pick his successor by the end of the month. They were accusing Platner of trying to put his finger on the scale here, influencing, meddling in the process. The Platner team says that they had reached out to the Maine Democratic Party to try and kind of assess what the path forward would look like. They say that they want to make sure that the voters, not party leaders, decide the next person to take this spot. The Democratic Party here has pledged an inclusive and transparent process to figure this out. But again, nothing can happen until he drops out of the race.
Do we know who is on the short list if he does drop out?
Well, Lindsay, it's fascinating because a lot of people are already either saying they're considering it or throwing their hat into the ring. You have at least one person, Troy Jackson, who ran for governor in the primary just a month ago. He's a more progressive candidate endorsed by Bernie Sanders in that governor's race. He has filed paperwork already. We have another candidate who is a co-owner of Maine Beer Company here in Maine, saying that he is going to run if Platner drops out. And Lindsay, I also spoke to Dr. Nirav Shah, who ran for governor a month ago as well. He told me that he's also considering it and says that Platner has got to drop out immediately. Take a listen.
The answer is yes. The time for him to have made a decision was the minute these allegations dropped. His first video should have concluded with, "I am withdrawing from this race." The second best time for him to have made a decision is literally any minute after that. Any minute, every hour that goes by without him withdrawing and allowing the party to initiate its process to find a successor is another hour that the eventual nominee is behind, and another hour where Susan Collins gets to solidify and fortify her base. Literally, we are in a situation 4 months out where every day matters, and we need to get to the nominating process so the nominee can get out there as quickly as possible.
So we'll wait to see what Platner does, what other candidates jump in. But remember, the party has until July 27th to find a nominee to take on Collins. So we'll stay tuned.
All right, Caitlin Huey-Burns.